Nice to meet you. I have been listening to your music for a long time, so it's nice to talk to you.
Thank you.
Where are you?
I'm in New York.
It looks like you've got a good collection of records behind you there.
You too.
Well, not as many as you by the looks of it. Any specific records we can go through?
Not really. It's such a variety. Pretty much everything we like.
Well, that kind of sums you up though. Like your music seems to draw from so many different genres of music. I feel like your record collection would be kind of eclectic anyway, right?
Yes, it would. It could probably stand to have some more modern music in it, but I'm working on it, that part.
Have you listened to much sort of new music that's come out recently?
I listened to Regina Spektor's new stuff and I
Oh
really
yeah.
liked it a lot. I mean, I was like, yeah, what a cool voice and the songwriting. So that was the latest, and then Florence and the Machine, their new pieces, just great, and the visuals along with it. I'm just like madly in love with the visuals.
This album that you've had coming out, you've had a lot of great reviews yet again. It seems to be a constant thing with you.
I have been very surprised in a very positive way, and just as you say it, it's been beautiful, and I'm so grateful that record by record, the records have been kind of able to be promoted and shared with the world. And because I used to promote them out the trunk of my car and through the busking and, tips at restaurants and stuff. So to go from there to actually having a team of people who are helping me, like, get the word out about the music is really, really so great. I mean, it's kind of what I was hoping for by 20 years later.
Yeah, it's been a nice kind of steady journey with you, I feel. And on this album, you've mentioned that you kind of allowed yourself to take your mind back into when you were a kid and to go into that state of being able to dream as a child. What was it about this album that made you want to kind of explore that kind of side of things?
I think, like, a lot of things made the record center around dreams that were happening in the world. I think that, seeing all the heaviness that we experienced throughout the pandemic and all of the healing that my country is fighting to have around systemic injustices made it where I really thought about my voice in the midst of all of that and how I love the idea of a person just being quiet. And just like, because everyone's saying something. And when they get still, taking a moment to dream and to use their imagination. And when they do that, doing something like looking to the dreamers like Dr. King and holding that vision for something beautiful and harmonious in the world. Even if you were isolated in your home during these times, as long as you held that kind of vision and had that kind of energy when you went downstairs to pick up takeout or whatever, when you were encountering another person, then you were keeping the temperature down. And I think, like, there were so many people that were, inciting very negative energies and keeping us all on edge, that we just needed to remember the magic of life, the beauty of each heart and each person, and imagine something new. So a record about dreaming, a record about ethereal, magical things can hopefully encourage somebody to stay in that space, because we all have that kind of power to use creativity to shape our world. I mean, everyone, you look around your home, all around your home, that's your world. So just putting as many things in that world that inspire you and keep you in a good place is kind of important. Music, art, books, whatever, movies, whatever that is, keeping those things that keep you in a light spot. It's important. It's just as important as knowing all the bad shit that's happening in the world to me.
Yeah, because it feels like what we need at the moment is a little bit of positivity in amongst everything that's been going on, and it's sometimes that's hard to find, and sometimes, especially in the last couple of years, people have found that in music. You know, people, I think music has taken on a different meaning to a lot of people over the last couple of years. Have you found that for you as well as a songwriter?
I have found that music is it's a great form of activism in the sense of positivity because you can be feeling a certain type of way about somebody or something and want to set them straight and tell the world all about it, but then you hear a song and it'll just transform your whole day. And so I felt like that even more so through the pandemic, that I personally need that, and I'm hungry for it. And I think now that we're able to spend time together again in public spaces, experiencing shows once more, we see how we really need that too. We need to be in a room listening to something that we are interested in, that moves us. It might not be, we might not love every single song or whatever, but we felt something, and we need that with our, our neighbors, with our friends, with strangers. We need to just go and enjoy life. And so that part of it has been certainly missing, and I'm thrilled to be back on the road because
Yeah.
I need it. Let me speak for myself.
You mentioned like that it can be like almost like therapeutic listening to music when there's so much other things going on in the world. And a lot of people will listen to your music for that exact reason. I feel it is very, it is very calming and kind of takes you away for a moment. What do you listen to when you want to feel like that? Because you can't listen to your own records, I guess.
Well, when I'm making a record, I listen to it so much that
Yeah.
I don't really listen to them once a year or so after I've released it goes by. I'm writing new songs. I'm already in the next mode of what
Right.
I'm, creating. And so I'll be listening to those new songs. But I also listen to stuff like Daniel Johnston, or, I listened to him on repeat last week for spring because I just wanted to hear that song, True Love Will Find You in the End, again and again. And that really made me very happy in the moment. And I'm trying to think what else I was listening to in the midst of all of it. There are a few very obscure artists that I don't want to mention right now because I'm still kind of studying their work, but Swamp Dogg is one that I really love
Yeah.
listening to right now. And he seems to have new stuff coming out every few years too. Even though it feels like so old, it's very new. And I
Yeah.
love how he mixes modern elements in his very old sound. I think that we're kindred in that way, that I like to mix modern elements with what I do.
Yeah.
And and so he's definitely been on the radar for a daily listen, if not more, like on repeat sometimes, because I need it. And like I said, of the modern stuff, there'll be stuff like Florence and the Machine or Regina Spektor, who I love listening to last week quite a lot with their new stuff that's coming out. So,
And do you have
yeah.
any favorite lyricists? Obviously, your lyrics are a big part of your music. A lot of people really pay attention to what you're saying. Do you have favorite lyricists out there that are making music?
My favorite lyricists are no longer with us. And I really thank you for saying that about my lyrics, because I think that's what I like the most about sharing music is the wordplay. And but I love John Prine, of course, and the way he was able to tell a story but create such a visual picture and cinematic nature to his simple songs. And or Towns Van Zandt, I love his lyrics. Leonard Cohen, amazing lyrics. So those are Bob Dylan. How can you not love his amazing lyrics?
Well, I hear the the feeling is mutual with Bob Dylan. I know he's a fan of your music as well. That must be quite a thrill.
Yes, it is. I'm in shock still of that because I'm excited and happy that Bob Dylan knows that I make music. Just like, what? Bob Dylan?
Amazing.
But yeah, like those are a few lyricists that I like. I'm trying to think because most of everyone up here is older music. It's hard to think of a new artist that would. You know what I just heard that I liked was The Smile. Um, I heard some of their music, the new band.
You're talking about Tom York's new project?
From New York, and that was good. So I'm looking forward to hearing more of that.
So I know on this, you just put out this deluxe version of the album, and there's some covers at the end. Do you enjoy playing covers, and do you like to make them your own, or you like to kind of stay true to the original most of the time?
I can't stay true to the original because I'm not that kind of musician in the way that I play. I don't really know, like, I'm just learning how to play other people's songs. I started playing by writing to my voice and taught myself how to play over the course of the last couple of decades. But I started in my early 20s, so I was late. And I can't play other people's songs, really. It takes me a very long time to learn. And when I do learn, like, I play them my own way, the way that I can. So it ends up being very different than the original. But I, of course, love other musicians' work and want to cover their work. And so during the pandemic, I got so excited about just diving into some cover songs of artists that I love. So that's what I did. And I had fun with the band, too, doing that because they're brilliant musicians. Unlike me, they can learn anything in 1/2 second and they got it. Me, it takes me forever, unless it's my own song and I'm sitting there writing it. I guess that comes in with the dreamer side of me, where I'm like more of the person who works in the invisible world in imagination and dreams stuff up than the person who can, like, take something that's already there and really master it. Mm-hmm. So when I have my band members with me, because they're masters in that way, and I'm bringing in this very, like, dream side, we are able to create together these pieces. And we did a cover of Pink Moon, and we did a cover of Imagine, and a very old song called Beautiful Dreamer. And I didn't play one instrument. All I did was sing. And they did such a wonderful job of playing. They're masters of playing the instrument.
And what is it about these songs that made you want to feature them on this deluxe version of the album?
They all relate to dreams. And because my main focus in my life, if I had to have a purpose or a platform to my work, is positive activism through dreaming. Because I think things that we experience in the world, they first happen as thoughts. They first happen in this very imagination world, in this dream world. Everything, like, I want a cup of tea. First, I think I want a cup of tea, and then I walk across the room and I make one, or I go somewhere and I get one. But first, it's like just a mini dream. And so all the songs deal with dreams, or they deal with something ethereal like the moon, or something in space and stratospheric like the stars, because that too will make a person transcend the limitations of the physical world when they are, like, thinking about the moon and the stars and looking beyond, you know. So there's that underlying theme to all the songs. But in the end, if a person doesn't want to think like that and they just want to enjoy music, then it's just songs about dreams and stars and the moon.
And you're about to take these songs on the road. You must be, obviously you're excited about that. You already mentioned you've been excited about playing live. Sadly, you're not coming to Montreal just yet. But when you don't feel bad, when you play these songs live, do they evolve in a live environment?
Oh, they are going to, they're going to be galaxies. They are going to have their own lives, and they're going to be bigger than what they are on the record. I'm excited. I'm so excited. Because they always do that to me, songs. Like, I'll write them. They'll be like this little bitty thing, and then you go record them. Then they get bigger. Then you go on stage. Then they get bigger. Then you get the feedback from the audience and the energy, and they become an even bigger thing. And then they go from this town to that town to that town, and they're even bigger. Then someone on Instagram starts dancing to it, and it gets even bigger. There's this awesome, I forgot the handle of the dancer, but she just danced to the song You and I, and she was incredible. I reposted it, but I was like, that is a great dancer. She just made that song all her own. So when art inspires art, and when art travels and moves, to me, art becomes the universal language, as they say, what music is, you know? Music translates over into the other worlds of different mediums. So that kind of is, that's, that's the magic of music to me. It's good. I'm excited.
And I know, I guess your dad was a big influence on your music, right? He was involved in putting on concerts, and kind of a lot of your first musical experience would have been with your dad.
Yeah, it was. He was a music promoter, and we helped him, my brothers and sisters and I, with his business. And it was in Jackson, Tennessee, which is where I'm from and live. And we just, would set up the green rooms for the artists and hang posters on different poles and stuff in town, and go to the radio stations, and he would tell them about the upcoming performers and stuff so they could help promote. And it really, all that he did to promote his artist coming into the music, bringing their music to town, helped me to learn how to promote my work out the trunk of my car when I needed to, and how to call the Memphis radio station and say, hey, I'm playing at this bar. I know y'all are busy, but if you can, drop a line, and be fearless and go into the newspaper and saying, hey, here's my CD, that kind of thing. And doing that for, I guess, the first decade of my career on my own, and then having a team of people to do it. It started though with my dad, and it started by watching him and working with him, and then doing it on my own, and then having people to help me. So it's been nice.
Are there any records that you particularly listen to that make you think of your dad and that time together?
Believe it or not, it's Taj Mahal. He makes me think of my dad. Ain't going down to Dixie no more. There's a song that comes on the radio. Sometimes when I rent a car, it'll come on, because I don't know how. It's just randomly in my phone, and it'll come on, and it reminds me of a time when I picked my dad up, and he was very, very sick at the hospital. And I picked him up and drove him back to Jackson from Nashville, and that song came on, and he's like, I love that song, will you play it again? And we listened to it again and again on the way from Nashville to Jackson, which is about 2 hours. And so I always think of him when that song comes on.
Amazing.
Oh, there's another one too, Tighten Up by Archie Bell and the Drells.
Oh, I don't know that one.
I love it so much. If you don't know it, you gotta listen to it. It's so good.
Okay, I'm gonna go and dig that out.
Yeah.
So you've got the tour coming up, the album's out, the Deluxe album's out. What's going to be next for you? What's happening in the summer?
Well, I am going to be on the road for about 2 months straight. And then I'm going to do about like every other weekend, a performance, a festival. And between that, I have little babies being born that I have to go be Aunt V, and I'm so, so excited. And I have weddings to attend because I mean the world is opening.
Yeah.
The world is back, and so I'm gonna travel. I'm gonna explore, and really, really hopeful that we can all stay healthy and continue to have the ability to leave the world, the country, and travel the world and see all kinds of cool things and visit friends and give hugs again. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that.
Yeah. I think we're going to appreciate all those little things even more, right?
Yes.
Well, I wish you all the best. I hope you have a fantastic year and dream big. I hope all your dreams come true. They seem to be little by little. And it's been a real pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you too. Have a good day, Steve.